She forced herself to step onto the train despite her fear. To her horror, she discovered that the passengers inside the car had already been infected by the virus. To stay alive, she could only pretend to be one of the infected. She watched helplessly as the infected injected the virus into the passengers' bodies. Fighting back her fear, she hid inside the restroom. But an even greater crisis soon followed. Just as she began to relax, a sudden wave of drowsiness overwhelmed her mind. It turned out that a mysterious virus had invaded Earth along with the wreckage of a crashed spacecraft. Anyone infected with this virus after falling asleep would begin shedding their skin and lose control of their consciousness, becoming a puppet of the virus. All the infected wore blank expressions. They would uncontrollably spread the virus to every corner. Just as Laura was about to succumb, a surge of tense memories from her past suddenly jolted her awake. But just as she was about to leave, she was suddenly blocked at the doorway by a boy.
Enough pretending. Come, sleep.
Seeing that her disguise had been exposed, Laura lied and said she wanted to complete the transformation alone. She was then locked inside the restroom by herself. When the boy opened the door later, Laura was already cleaning off the skin peeling from her body. But what the boy did not know was that the skin actually belonged to someone else. Having successfully blended in with the infected, Laura successfully arrived at her ex-husband's house. Her purpose this time was to take her son away from there. Laura's son was immune to the virus. As long as she could bring him to her boyfriend's research lab, they would be able to develop a serum to fight the virus. Laura took her son and prepared to sneak away quietly. But as soon as they reached the first floor lobby, her panicked expression was immediately noticed by her ex-husband outside. Sensing trouble, Laura quickly grabbed her son and escaped through the back door. She then forced herself to stay calm and blended into the infected crowd. Soon she managed to shake off her ex-husband's pursuit. After that, she went to a pharmacy. Having not closed her eyes for 2 days and 2 nights, she grabbed a stimulant injection and slipped it into her pocket. She told her son that if she ever fell asleep, he must immediately inject the drug into her heart. At that moment, Laura's boyfriend George called. His research had made a major breakthrough. Now he only needed blood from someone immune, and he could successfully develop a vaccine. After learning Laura's location, he rushed there at once. To be safe, Laura gathered her courage and went to the security room. Inside, several guards were lying there in the middle of being assimilated. Carefully, she removed a gun from one of the guards' waists. As time passed, Laura's drowsiness grew stronger and stronger. She hurriedly grabbed a handful of stimulants and swallowed them with an energy drink. But even so, after days without sleep, Laura still triggered her body's self-protection mechanism and lost consciousness. Just as the virus inside her was assimilating her, violent pounding on the security room door woke her son. He instinctively called out to his mother, but realized he could not wake her no matter what. Realizing something was terribly wrong, he quickly pulled out the stimulant from his pocket, and following his mother's instructions, injected it into her heart. He successfully woke her at the final moment of assimilation. After regaining consciousness, Laura felt a surge of fear, but to her surprise, her boyfriend George had finally arrived. However, as she hugged George and poured out her grievances, his indifferent tone made her sense something was wrong. To her despair, she discovered that George had also been assimilated. George ignored the weapon in her hand while persuading Laura to accept assimilation, and released his companions from the security room.